Alright guys, your boy Marc back with a video on 17th of April 2025. Just a few days from WrestleMania. Wow, we're finally there. I don't really do like videos like this often. In fact, I think the last time I did a video like this was 2016. I think I called it WrestleMania 32 preview, something like that. I think I'll call this one. I was gonna call it Marc's WWE WrestleMania 41 Easter Weekend predictions, but I think I'll call it Marc's WWE WrestleMania 41 Easter Weekend preview. You know, basically, I'm just gonna give you guys my overall thoughts and predictions for not just WrestleMania 41, but also NXT Stand Deliver, which will be the same day as WrestleMania 41 Night 1. I gotta say, I haven't really been watching NXT lately, so I don't know the context of storylines and all that entirely, I guess. But I'll still do my best to do predictions. And, I'll tell you guys this. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I've gotten predictions wildly wrong in the past. Hopefully we can have a lot of fun here. And I'm super excited for WrestleMania. It'll be the GOAT John Cena's final WrestleMania as well. So, hopefully, we'll get onto him, near the end of this video, of course. This is an audio video, of course. I got my food for WrestleMania today, and I gotta say, my eyes probably were a bit bigger than my stomach. I even forgot to show my cashews that I got in the photo. But yeah, donuts. I love donuts. American hot dogs, garlic bread, Easter eggs, ginger ale, sparkling Duet, red Schweppes. It's gonna be delicious. Donuts. I probably mentioned donuts already. But yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited to eat this. I'm excited especially to eat a lot of hot dogs. Still, quite a lot more food than I thought it was. Even my mother, my aunt actually, was like, this is heart attack material when I put these on the grocery list. And about the hot dogs, my mother, actually suggested hot dogs herself. I was gonna go with pizza, but then she suggested hot dogs, and I was like, not bad, but I think I'll go with pizza. And then later on, my mother had a dream where she dreamt about hot dogs. So I saw that as a sign. It's got to be hot dogs. So I'm very excited to have those. Of course, got to wait till WrestleMania. Hopefully, I know my timing is notoriously bad for making food just before WrestleMania. But, yeah. Anyway, so I will watch and review SmackDown, the last SmackDown before WrestleMania, which is tomorrow. I'll review NXT Stand and Deliver, and then I'll go back to sleep, get up for WrestleMania Night 1, review that, then WrestleMania Night 2, the next day, of course, and even the Raw after, because John Cena's confirmed for that. Anything that John Cena's confirmed for, I'll review. So, without further ado, I guess I'll get onto my NXT Stand and Deliver predictions. Now, pre-show match, a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match to determine the number 1 contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. We got Metaphor, consisting of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Fatal Influence, consisting of Fallon Henley and JC Jane. Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, and Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I remember a lot of people complaining, oh my gosh, Roxanne Perez on the pre-show. She went from, the runner-up in the Royal Rumble to the pre-show on Stand and Deliver. I don't know the context behind this. Since, Roxanne is the name that stands out, I'll just make a prediction. I got Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade winning this, especially since Cora Jade has yet to win a championship, which is kind of shocking, actually. But yeah, I'm also going to, do kind of like a mix of what I think the match orders will be, but it's also like a mix of what I would make the match order, This goes for, Stand and Deliver and both nights of WrestleMania. So yeah. Now, opening the show officially, this is what I would have open the show. The NXT Women's North American Championship vacant ladder match. ZARIA versus Kelani Jordynne. Nice that Kelani Jordynne was in the first one, and now she's in this one too. And she actually ended up winning that one, the first one. Ruca, who just won the Women's Speed Championship. Could she be a double champion here? Izzi Dame, Lola Vice, and Thea Hale. I'll make a bold prediction. Thea Hale seems to be the one getting a lot of attention on Twitter. So she very well could be the one that actually wins. But I'll make a bold prediction. And I'll say Lola Vice wins this. Long overdue for a championship in WWE, or NXT, I should say. In fact, I think she's the one who should have defeated Roxanne Perez last year. Honestly, the fact that she still hasn't won a championship of any kind, I don't like that, man. Doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, I got Lola Vice winning this. I could be very well wrong, though. I was actually super annoyed by that match with Roxanne last year where she just freaking spammed the freaking pop rocks again and again on Lola. That was very anger-inducing. I don't get the high praise for Roxanne Perez, if I'm being honest. I'm just saying. Next up, six-man tag. I think it's a six-man tag. The D'Angelo family, consisting of Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks, Lorenzo, and Luca Crusifino, versus DarkState, consisting of a bunch of people who I do not know at all. Dion, Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon, Shugars, and or Osiris, Griffin. No idea who those people are. So I'll just go D'Angelo family. DarkState, I think I heard about like some heel, like Retribution type group in NXT. Is that who DarkState is? Maybe they'll win this, but I'll just go D'Angelo family because I actually kind of know them. Yeah. Next up, the NXT Tag Titles match. Axiom versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. I think I heard them referred to as Tank and Tank. You know what? Those names make me think of Heath Ledger. You know, like the Joker from The Dark Knight. Hank Ledger. Hank Walker. Tank Ledger. Fraxium. I don't know. Now we go to the NXT North American Championship match for the men's, of course. Ricky Saints defending against Ethan Page. Not who I would have picked. To face off against Ricky for this championship. But I'll just say Ricky retains. Why not? So yeah, the only new champions I really see obviously from the NXT women's, you know what I mean? But next up we got the NXT Women's Championship Fatal 4-Way. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Giulia, Jordynne Grace, and Jaida Parker. Should be a really fun match. I'm surprised Giulia's back so soon from injury. The way that they made it sound was like she was super injured. And then they just had the match at Roadblock. Was it Roadblock? Yeah. That was a great match, I thought. But, you know, because this is a fatal 4-way, I think, and I hate to say this, I think Jaida is there to take the pin and Stephanie retains. But in the end, I still think Giulia, you know, could very well be the one to take the championship back from Stephanie, you know, and, you know, have the proper long championship reign. I think she was intending the first time. Maybe that'll happen here, you know. But yeah. Now we go on to what I would make the main event, most because I'm a big Femi fan. NXT Championship Triple Threat. Femi defending against Trick Williams and Javon Evans. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish this was just a singles match between Femi and Javon Evans. What a match that would be. But, you know, I know people might be like, maybe Trick's there to take the pin. Femi can go up to the main roster. I don't know if that's what people are saying. That just seems like something people might be saying. So I think it'll either be Javon wins the title or Femi retains. And I think Femi retains. Yeah, I think this will be a blast of a match. And as for, you know, calling up to the main roster, I mean, maybe. The roster's super stacked right now, though. I think. I don't know. Either way, I think it's either Femi or Javon Evans. Imagine if Trick Williams wins. And then he could tie Samoa Joe as the, you know, most reigns as NXT champion with 3. But yeah. And yeah, those are going to be my NXT predictions. NXT Stand and Deliver predictions. We'll see what actually happens when we get to the show, of course. Now we're going to WrestleMania 41 Night 1. By the time this show starts, hopefully I would have had a good sleep after uploading my review of Stand and Deliver, of course. Now, what I think will open the show, what I believe should open the show, Gunther versus the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso, for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think this will open the show. This is not at all what I would have expected WrestleMania 41's World Heavyweight Championship match to be. And, but you know what? When they do rematches at WrestleMania, you know, rematches that we, you know, where it wasn't that long ago that we last saw them compete against each other, they tend to make a badass, see, this was always were their WrestleMania type match. For example, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, that was way further back than the last Gunther Jey Uso match. But they had that match at Backlash 2020. And then they had the rematch, WrestleMania 41, opening night 1. Or WrestleMania 37, opening night 1 of WrestleMania 37, I should say. And that match was epic. I loved it. I could see, based on the build-up, I could see the match ending like, and I really hope there's no interference. You know, I think that'll cheapen the ending, honestly, if there is. I'd love to see Jey. Well, I wouldn't say I'm rooting for Jey Uso to win, but I do think he's going to win. And I am actually morbidly curious as to how he defeats Gunther. But I think it could end. Jey super kicks the crap out of Gunther's face. Bleeding. Gunther's bleeding a lot. And then, boom. Top rope splash. Boom. 1, 2, 3. You World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso to open WrestleMania 41 Night 1. Without a doubt, yeah. that's how I think WrestleMania will open. Not necessarily exactly the way I mentioned it, but maybe it will. I think that'll be a badass way to end that match. Next up, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I got Jade Cargill winning this. You know, I haven't even seen any of those Naomi promos, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I missed them when I was watching SmackDown. I didn't watch every single SmackDown or Raw, you know, leading up, but Jade Cargill, everyone's saying how Naomi's been such a great heel lately, delivering fantastic promos and all that. I haven't really seen that myself. So I got Jade Cargill winning. And yeah, and this is the first one-on-one women's match at WrestleMania that has no championships or stipulations, I heard. Something like that. Or at least the first since 2006. Next up, we have the World Tag Team Championship match. War Raiders defending against the New Day. Simple as that. New Day win. Yeah, I think New Day win the championships here. Now, the only way I see them losing is if Big E makes some type of big, you know, return and all that. I don't think he'll, you know, get too physical if he does, but yeah, that's the only way I see the New Day losing. Or maybe they'll just have straight up War Raiders to retain. I don't know. But yeah. Now we go into the United States Championship match. LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu. Straight up, Jacob Fatu to become the new United States Champion. Hopefully this is fun. I don't think these two have ever fought before, but this should be a fun match. And, yeah. LA Knight's reign didn't really have a proper second reign, I guess. He never should have lost it in the first place. Got that pointless 3-month Nakamura reign of nothing. You know. That was stupid. I didn't like that. But, yeah. Jacob Fatu to win the United States Championship. Next up, we got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, yes, this is the match order that I would make night 1, personally. And, of course, I'm doing the same for night 2. Straight up, Rey Mysterio wins this. And I think he unmasks El Grande Americano. And it turns out to be Chad Gable. That's great. I saw someone point out, far out, they're really going to immortalize this character that probably would have been forgotten over time, honestly. El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. They're really going to immortalize this character. Yeah, it's crazy. There was, I think it was SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, where on Rey Mysterio's road to WrestleMania, you fought a guy named Toto Americano, and that was actually Jack Swagger in disguise. I wonder if that's what inspired this El Grande Americano thing, because what a throwback if that's the case, man. Far out. But yeah, I think Rey wins. He unmasks the guy to be Chad Gable. Imagine if it's not Chad Gable. Someone pointed out in the Wrestling is Cool podcast, I think, that that you know, they already got a body double for, you know, El Grande when he first appeared, and everyone was already like, hey, Chad Gable, you are El Grande Americano, that type of stuff. Next up, this match is controversial, written all over it. The women's WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton defends against the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match winner, Charlotte Flair. Now, straight up, I think Tiffany absolutely has to retain this. I mean, the amount of real hate that Charlotte has gotten, it would be pretty daft if WWE have Charlotte win after that. This isn't, we hate the character. No, we hate Charlotte, man. And that goes to myself included. Did you see how badly Chicago booed her on SmackDown? And then even when you extend it to online, like that guy, he said, he posted the meme of like the cycle thing, and it had like a photo of Charlotte looking distraught from her interview, and then the cycle thing. I'm just looking for it on my phone, my other phone. I mean, get title shot, get injured, get a divorce, get face surgery, and repeat. That was from Jeremy. And then Charlotte replied, cute. Now, would you like me to tell you what I think of you and your face? And then Jeremy absolutely annihilated Charlotte with what he said, at least it's my original face, though. Boom! Absolutely destroyed Charlotte. The hatred that Charlotte has is overwhelming. It wouldn't surprise me if they still have Charlotte win, but I don't. They really should have her lose. You know, hopefully WWE, you know, they're able to read the room and know that Charlotte winning is not best for business. You know, and you know what? I saw someone point out, like, maybe the reason that she's been so unprofessional because she knows she's not winning at WrestleMania. So, yeah, and I gotta be honest, I'm part of that hate towards Charlotte as well. Alright? I hate how much she is a threat to John Cena's record. Soon to be John Cena's record, one and only, hopefully. Yeah, and it was like, wow, you really thought you could just say, I want to break John Cena's record and think we were just going to take that line down. And by we, I mean me and the Sin Nation. I freaking had my awesome friends right after Elimination Chamber. I met so many awesome people on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, who are John Cena fanatics like me. And they've shown me love too. Love those guys. And I basically, you know, what am I trying to say? I basically said, hey, look what the hell Charlotte's trying to say. And then they went off on her. And it's like, you F around and find out. You know, you think you can just say you're going after John's record and think we're just going to take that line down. So yeah. Yep, I'm a massive Charlotte hater because of, and this is their fault. Why do they do this? It's like when you watch Charlotte matches and when she wins and when it just kept happening and happening, it freaking snaps something in my brain, you know, during those moments. And it has like this freaking uncontrollable rage that just snaps in me. You know, handed everything, it angers me deeply. And hopefully WWE can read the room, make the right decision, have Tiffany retain and defeat Charlotte. Hopefully clean and far out. Did you see that promo too? Even Tiffany was fed up with her, you know. What is it, Charlotte? 0 and 3? You know, referring to her marriages. And then Charlotte being desperate, like, hey, is that why Kaiser's in my DMs? Yeah, they better have Tiffany retain. And, yeah, I think she will. You know, I think she will. But, yeah. So that's yeah. So Tiffany Stratton to defeat Charlotte Flair. Yeah, and I know the hatred, perhaps it is toxic, but that record means so much like you wouldn't believe to me, y'all. Like, for John Cena, you know, like that story was ours. Like they made the story about, oh, can John Cena break the record? That's ours. It's not Randy's. It's not Charlotte's. Okay. But yeah. And even when I freaking sent my fellow C Nation members after Charlotte, you know, when she said that shit, Charlotte freaking stayed offline for quite a few days. And immediately when she came back, Jeremy freaking annihilated her with the "at least it's my original face" though thing. Alright. But now moving on to the main event of WrestleMania 41 Night 1. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Triple threat match with nothing on the line except for the love of Paul Heyman. So I think this match there's going to be one or two people. Actually, I feel like this match is definitely either between CM Punk or Seth Rollins winning it. I keep going back and forth on who I believe it'll be. And who knows, maybe even after I make this video, I'll be like, oh man, I should have gone with such and such. I don't even know who I'm going to go with right now, honestly. Seth Rollins. Some people are pointing out maybe he's in cahoots with The Rock as well, by saying best for business. Just like what John Cena said. Best for business, the Royal Rumble press conference. CM Punk, his first main event. And CM Punk's the one who I can picture doing big stuff after WrestleMania, because I had Seth Rollins winning this. But then CM Punk is someone I can picture after WrestleMania doing big things. But there's nothing on the line in this match specifically. So, I would be surprised if Roman wins. I think I'll be like, huh, so Roman won. I don't think Roman's going to stick around after WrestleMania for a little bit. You know? So, yeah, I think this match will be excellent. Honestly, with the amount of hatred involved in this, I think it could be something super intense. I love Brock versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins from Royal Rumble 2015. I think you guys know how much I love that match. And this is the main event of night one. So, I keep changing my mind between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, but you know, if it's CM Punk, I think he could pin Roman Reigns. Honestly, yeah. I don't know why Roman Reigns can't be the one who gets pinned here, considering he's not going to stick around afterwards, you know. But if Seth wins, I don't think that necessarily means what people are theorizing, that, you know, Paul Heyman's going to be, you know, joining cahoots with Seth. I don't know if it necessarily means that. But, yeah, so that being said, I keep going back and forth with Punk and Seth. I mean, he might still. You know what? I'm going with Seth Rollins. It's tough, but it's between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, but I'm going with Seth Rollins to win this triple threat. I'm going with Seth Rollins. If he pins Roman Reigns, that'll make Roman go even more nuts because he still hasn't been able to pin Seth on pay-per-view, you know. That's tough, man. That's a tough one. Seth Rollins, yep. Maybe I'll change my mind off screen, but you guys wouldn't know about it. So, in a way, that kind of permanently locks my pick for Seth Rollins. WrestleMania 41, Night 2. The night of all nights. I heard a thing saying that the Women's World Championship Triple Threat is set to open the show for Night 2. That's a match I'm very excited for, but I won't lie, that match opening Night 2 kind of makes me slightly less excited for it, honestly. Obviously, I don't know what they got planned. I don't know the script. But honestly, I would have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul open the show for Night 2. So, AJ versus Logan. That's the match I'm going to give my thoughts on. I think this match will kick ass. As for who wins, I don't really mind whoever wins this. But, I'll just go with AJ Styles, you know, because I don't know what Logan Paul's doing afterwards. AJ, I don't know what he's doing afterwards. But I do think he's going to stick around much more than Logan. And I think this match will be so much fun, so epic. And honestly, this might end up being AJ Styles' best WrestleMania match ever. I mean, it's crazy, like, AJ's WrestleMania catalog hasn't exactly been the best, I know. Let's see, his first match against Jericho, WrestleMania 32, that was awesome. I actually correctly predicted that Jericho was going to win that in my WrestleMania 32 preview, and I was actually right. I'm actually very proud of that bold prediction I made. 33, Shane McMahon. That was awesome. That might still be his best match, actually. 34, we all thought that match was going to be a masterpiece. Him against Shinsuke for the WWE Championship. And it's still a good match, but it's definitely better than I think most people remember. Even better than I remembered, you know. It was a good match, but so not what we were imagining in our heads. 35, match with Randy Orton. It was alright. 36, Undertaker. I don't like that match as much as most people, honestly. I would have preferred a proper one-on-one match between AJ and Undertaker, honestly, and we never really got that, you know. 37, it was the New Day match. For 38, it was his match against Edge, which I thought was a great match. You know, I do think people underrate that a lot. Let's see, 39, he didn't have a match at 39, I think he was injured. 40, he had a match that, to me, was forgettable against LA Knight. I don't even remember that match at all. Except for, like, the what do you call it, the taking the mat off spot, kind of like Hogan and Andre. 41, this one here, we're facing Logan Paul. So yeah, I'll go with AJ Styles winning this. Yeah. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Fatal 4-way. I don't really want him to win, but I think Dominic Mysterio is winning this. I'm not really a fan of Dominic Mysterio, honestly. I actually really enjoyed him as a performer. Like, way early on, like his first match, which was against Seth Rollins. Remember that no DQ match? Was it no DQ? SummerSlam 2020. That match was awesome. And I was like, wow, Dom's fantastic. But yeah, hopefully it's a fun 4-way. Either way, I don't think Braun is walking out still the Intercontinental Champion. I think the belt is changing hands here finally. I thought this match, like months ago, was going to be Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is up with Sheamus now. But, yeah. So, yeah, I don't really want him to win. But I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win this. Probably rolling up Finn Balor. You know. And next up, the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending against Bayley and the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. Hopefully it will be fun. I keep seeing people say, like, oh, it should end in a heel turn, Bayley turns on Lyra or something like that. Not everything needs a heel turn, like, holy crap. But hopefully this is a fun match, and I think Liv and Raquel retained. Simple as that. I don't really have anything more to add to this. But, yeah. Next, we have Randy Orton's match. Of course, we know Randy Orton was originally gonna challenge, gonna face Kevin Owens in a singles match, but Kevin Owens announced that he'll be undergoing neck surgery. He may even be facing retirement. And if that's true, then, you know, that match he had against Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, that was one heck of a loss match, man. That was epic. So this is assuming Randy Orton does have a match. This is where I'd place that match. Yeah, I don't think I watched all of SmackDown, but I do hear people saying, oh, Solo Sikoa. I think that could very well be a misdirection. If that's the case, that's super underwhelming. I'm sorry, just I struggled to find Solo entertaining, honestly. Although I actually really enjoyed his match with John Cena at Crown Jewel. That was a good match, man. That was a good match. But I think it will be Nick Aldis. You know, I don't know why you would tease it and not do that. That would be a fun little 10-minute match. Other contenders, it could be Sami Zayn, you know, Kevin Owens' best friend. Other contenders, Rusev and Aleister Black. If it's Aleister Black, I think Aleister should win that, honestly, against Randy Orton. But I do think it'll be Nick Aldis, and I think Randy Orton defeats Nick Aldis. And, yeah. Hopefully it is Nick Aldis. The next up we have the Sin City Street Fight. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Can we call this a WrestleMania rematch? Because last year it was a cash-in match between Drew and Damian Priest. Anyway. This match should be, I think this match will be a lot of fun. Personally, I'm hoping that this is more so a match where they fight all over the place. They probably will use weapons. But I hope they fight on the stage. Maybe even start the match on the stage. Like maybe Damian does his entrance, then Drew beats him up from behind and the bell rings. And then they just fight on the stage for a while. I think that would be super fun. Heck, even, you know what? Live up to the name. Sin City Street Fight. Have them go out in the Las Vegas streets and fight. That would be amazing. So, yeah. This should be a super fun match. Hopefully it is a match where they fight all over the place for me personally. But, yeah. Either way, I think Drew McIntyre wins this. I'm not gonna lie. I want Damian Priest to win, though, just because Drew's reaction would be hilarious. You know what I mean? But I think Drew's winning, so I'm locking in Drew McIntyre to win this. And now we got on to what sounds like will be the opener of Night 2, but if it was up to me, it would be the second to last match of Night 2. Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. This match should be epic. Even if it is the opener, hopefully it'll still be epic. I think Rhea has the least shot of winning. It very well could be Bianca that wins this, considering her undefeated streak at WrestleMania. And yeah, I know the WrestleMania 34 Women's Battle Royal. Well, if we started at WrestleMania 37, then it's still a streak. All right, still a streak. And I think a lot of people will be annoyed if Rhea wins. But yeah, Bianca Belair, I know she has the streak, but you know what? I'm going with Io. I'm going with Io Sky to retain the Women's World Championship. Bianca mentioned specifically, I heard that she's never been pinned at WrestleMania. Maybe that's a sign. Io retains, but Rhea gets pinned. Bianca doesn't get pinned. Yeah, should be a badass match. And I'm rooting for Io Sky. And I think she will win. But either way, I think it's between her and Bianca. So yeah, I don't have a single new women's champion. I know that sounds bizarre. But I think we've had every single women's championship change hands in the first quarter of 2025. I mean, you've already had Tiffany, cash in on Nia Jax to win the women's championship. And then you had Giulia defeat Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. And then you had shockingly, Io Sky defeat Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship. Actually, and then Rhea before that, in the same year, had defeated Liv Morgan for the championship. You had the women's tag titles change hands. I don't even remember who the last champions before them were. Liv and Raquel, I believe it was just before Elimination Chamber. And even some NXT Women's Championships. All those been changing hands like crazy. So yeah, I don't have a single new women's champion, and I don't think we need it, honestly. But yeah. Now I'm going to the main event. The match of WrestleMania 41. The one for all the marbles. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Cody Rhodes defending against John Cena. I'm so happy that John Cena's main eventing WrestleMania one more time. His last WrestleMania. And yeah, I know this match could go either way, man. And we all know the result I want. And you know what? I think it is the result we're going to get. I'm going to talk about it further, of course. I have John Cena defeating Cody Rhodes, probably with the help of The Rock, to finally win his 17th World Championship, making my biggest of all wrestling dreams finally come true. And, yeah, but this is tough, man. But considering John Cena's schedule, he's confirmed for the Raw after WrestleMania. He's confirmed for Backlash. He's confirmed for Saturday night's main event. And even Cody Rhodes, I don't think he's on the advertising for the Raw after WrestleMania. What gets me is it seems to be super rare that WrestleMania ends with a brand new heel champion. Keywords brand new. I know we've had heel champions retain, but heel champions being the brand new champion, that seems to be so much more rarer. And I think the right decision is for John Cena to win the championship finally. We all know it's what I want, and I want it desperately, badly. And it's like haven't we waited long enough for John Cena to break the record? It's been more than 8 years since he won his 16th World Championship. It's been that long. And I know people are like, oh, imagine what it would do for Cody if he were to defeat John Cena. Does anyone really talk about, oh my gosh, that champion retained at WrestleMania and think of it as like this amazing, huge moment? I don't really think so. You know, even Hogan beating Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. You know, I don't know if it's considered like that big of a moment. But if you make history, you have John Cena finally win his 17th World Championship, finally breaking the record. Cheers with Ric Flair. You know, and it's like the Tiffany Charlotte match and this match, those are the results I desperately want to get correct in my predictions. You have people absolutely enraged at the thought of Charlotte winning. And you have a lot of people I've also seen absolutely enraged at the thought of John Cena not winning. Here. I do think Stone Cold's going to interfere. I'd prefer he didn't, but I do think that's going to happen. And hopefully, and he surely shouldn't be the freaking difference maker. But it's like, we've waited long enough, and it's like from Sirius Black, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, I think. He's like, I've done my waiting. Several years of it. And it would be like that, Angry Grandpa video when he pranked Pickle Boy, making him think he got him a brand new PS4. And Pickle Boy was like, come on, you've got the thing, now just go get it. That's what it would feel like to me if John didn't win. But I'm putting it on there. I have John Cena winning. I want that to happen. And if he doesn't, then if you guys remember my Royal Rumble 2025 review, I know that was a super downer review, and I'm sorry for that. I was obviously in a very crappy mood. But I think something like that would happen again. No, something like that most likely would happen again in my review of WrestleMania Night 2, if that would happen. But yeah. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting, but that's my WrestleMania 41 preview, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, see you guys later. Peace out.